Hmm?
Children of the night, what music they make.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Tear your soul apart.
How do you do? Mr. Carl Lemley feels it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Well, I completely cocked that up. Never mind. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, over on my channel. This is kind of like my first live stream, I think.
Wow, really?
I think so. I did one like maybe 3 years ago. I did like a live
Ah, gotcha.
drawing stream. And obviously I've been on tons and tons of streams with like other people. And this is like what, our 6th episode of this?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So,
6th,
you know,
7th, around there.
something like that. Something like that. Got a bunch of things to look at. Got a bunch of news articles and like the release schedule for like what new movies are coming out. I've also got a few bits and pieces to look at with Frankenstein because he's 90. Well, he's not 90.
He's 90 years old.
Yeah, the Universal Monsters version of Frankenstein, 90 years old this week, came out 90 years ago.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that little clip before with the guy talking about how horrific it was going to be, that's what they used to play in theatres before the movie, but it kind of got removed and forgotten about. I think they restored it back into everything from the 80s onwards.
That's always wild how they'll leave stuff out and it's kind of lost, and then they find it again.
I mean, I was kind of looking into the history because I know a fair bit about Frankenstein, but I was looking into like some of the old movies. There's a couple of really early ones that were before the Universal one that kind of got lost.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, not available. All those like production stills and maybe little grainy clips and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there was two, one from 1915 and one from 1920. But weirdly, then there was like, was it Edison's Frankenstein? That was the first one. That's weird with the very bizarre looking Frankenstein. But we'll look into those. I've got some classic Frankenstein movies that have been made, and we're going to look at some more interesting ones, shall we say? Everything from bizarre Japanese versions to blaxploitation versions. I mean, we had Blackula, so Blackenstein had to follow.
Course.
So another thing with the original Frankenstein, They're not the original. The Universal Frankenstein is. It was a lot of different countries had a lot of different edits they wanted making to it. There was a whole bunch of different things that were taken out for different reasons in various countries, but the two that got taken out in all countries, which is very bizarre, are so there was a scene, you know, I'll let me show you this scene.
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
That scene got chopped a bit from the original. It's back in there now.
Was there a reason why they did that, or?
Well, I'll show you, and then we can discuss whether it's a valid reason or not. I mean, back then maybe they thought it was, but so this is kind of it's what we ended up with, and how it should have been. Yeah.
It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Oh, in the name of God. Now I know what it feels like to be God.
There you go. That second part. That's your second part that was cut. Yeah, there you can see Man Bear Pig knew. He knew. He got it. Yeah, so that universally for Universal was edited out.
That was a no-no, huh?
That was a no-no. Yeah, in what, 1931. So I mean, it seems kind of silly now, but yeah, I don't know.
And it's crazy because there's so much worse stuff now. It's always interesting to see how things change and what's acceptable and what's not, and the decay of it all.
And again, that bit was only put back in the 80s when they did like a VHS release in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while, it took 50 years to get back in. Which is, and there's also one more. Let me find the other one for you. This one. So you'll get the version that was shown originally, and then like the restored bit. Check this. So that's what you got before. And
no, you're hurting me! No!
That's the bit that was cut out. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. It kind of amuses me that like originally all you saw him reaching for the girl, and then it just cuts to the like corpse being carried through the street. It is what it is. Again, too much. I guess showing children getting, that's still kind of a no-no. But that's pretty mild.
Oh yeah.
You know. It didn't even as though the child was harrowed by it or anything. She was really good friends with Boris Karloff. There's a bunch of photos of them, you know, on set, goofing off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to burden you with the colorized version of that as well, just for the abomination that it is. But I won't. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the entire movie colorized.
But some things you just don't need color for that.
No, and weirdly, Frankenstein was colored flesh color in it, which is random.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
So we'll get back onto Frankenstein in a bit. Have you seen any horror movies this week? Done anything cool?
Well, as far as horror movies, I have played some horror games.
Oh.
Yeah. The Dark Pictures anthology. House of Ashes is the new episode game that they have out. It's kind of very heavily alien inspired. Okay. I found that very interesting. And then at the end, they have a peek at the next game in their series, and it's kind of like each one's almost like a standalone thing that kind of slightly connects to the other, very loosely.
Right.
And this next one looks pretty cool because it's Saw inspired, and there's like serial
Okay.
killers, and yeah, I was like, you have my attention.
I mean, I kind of like that idea of doing different things each time.
Hmm.
It certainly stops it getting stale, and they can
Yeah.
tell whatever story they want.
I think the only thing that's hurting them is the budget and spreading it out through because I think they have 6 games planned in total, and they've just wrapped 3, and then they're gonna have 4 come out pretty soon. So I think it's just the budget getting spread that thin, and each game is roughly, well, it depends on how fast you finish it, but I'd say 250 is probably
All right.
pretty
I've not
pretty
played any of
common.
them, to be honest. I've seen them, and
Yeah.
I've almost, but I don't have time to play games anymore. I really want to play that, like the last Resident Evil, but I haven't got the time to dedicate to it at the moment.
Yeah.
I
Because
get,
they did Until Dawn, and that was like a full-fledged game for Sony.
oh right,
Exclusive. Yeah, this is the same guys.
oh that was
And
cool. I enjoyed
I
that.
feel like that game was pretty solid, and them splitting up games is cool and doing different genres, but it's just the budget, and you can tell because
Yeah,
sometimes it feels like a walking simulator because
yeah.
the budget's spread out, man. So it's tough.
There's a lot of games like that though that kind of feel like a walking simulator. There was a glut of them, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know when it was, round about from sort of 2015 onwards, maybe. Like that Edith
Definitely
Finch
like
game.
Five Nights at Freddy's, sort of. Not really a walking simulator, but like that'd be more
Yeah,
like a sitting simulator.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've never played one.
Mhm.
I've never
You're
played a
lucky.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I played one, the first game, and I didn't see the hype because I like the concept of Five
Yeah,
Nights at Freddy's, but the gameplay was just very. It was just in the beginning stages. Like somebody, obviously, he's new to making games and whatnot. It just felt like very just just very new and inexperienced.
yeah. Did you see Willy's Wonderland?
Yes, I love that movie.
I mean, because that's literally that could have
That's
been a
it.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It could have been.
Yeah. And there's a movie that's been in like development hell forever for Five Nights at Freddy's, and supposedly it's coming out next year. Watch it get
Yeah,
pushed into the void.
I mean, it's got to be. They've got to do better than Willy's Wonderland, really. Willy's Wonderland probably got made because people got sick of waiting for a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So, and also Nick Cage is still trying to pay off those debts. But
Oh boy, the debts to the IRS.
I can't remember what it was. I think it is. Yeah, I think it was the IRS bill, something like that. This
Him and
people.
Chris Tucker, dude. Chris Tucker's been dodging too. I saw recently.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah,
I don't
people
know why
saying
people do this because they're gonna come for you guys. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
especially if you're high profile. I get if you're like just average Joe who's like sliding under the radar. But it's another thing.
yeah. Even then, there's still the chance that
Yeah.
they're going to at some point. I mean, they must get everyone eventually. They must get everyone with an audit or whatever.
Slowly. Yeah. You'll get 10 years later. Where's the money?
See, that's okay over here. I think the sort of statute of limitations on stuff in the UK is 5 years, I think, or 5 or 6. So you get away with that. Going, ha! Unless you kept doing. But then again, once you start doing things like that, you're more than likely to carry on trying to do things like that. I think never ends well. Never ends well for people.
Nope.
No.
Especially when you can go to jail like that.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Well, I think what you get is you'll get a bill. You'll get like you pay this now, or else. And then, to be honest, I was late paying my tax 1 year. Only I'd just forgotten. I'd just completely forgotten, to be honest, because I've been so busy doing other stuff. Completely forgot, and then I got like a horrible like red letterhead reminder. You
Pay
are
it
what's
now.
this one? It wasn't huge, so I paid it, but you know,
Mhm.
it's one of those things. Yeah. They get you injured. Plus, I mean, that stuff, if you forget to pay, I guess it puts you on the radar. Who knows? I don't know. So games, you've not watched any movies?
No movies recently. No.
To be honest, I've been watching a few bits and pieces, nothing to really write home about. I watched, because you know Christmas is coming up, I watched my two favourite Christmas horrors. I watched Saint or Sint. It's a Dutch movie about the kind of it's the legend of Saint Nicholas and how he was a bit of a dick, and so they killed him. They killed him off, and then like every so often, every some whatever it is, when there's a full moon on Saint Nicholas's night, he returns to wreak havoc, and he does.
Oh, wow.
And their kind of myth is that Saint Nicholas goes around with his little, not elves, it's called Black Peter, and it's a dude in blackface. You know, it's a tradition. I don't think it was meant with any malice or anything. I think he's got a blackface because he goes down chimneys. I think Saint Nicholas sends him down the chimneys. Yeah, it's a good movie. It was made quite a while ago. The movie. There's a lot of cool practical gore effects in it. Lots of heads coming off and limbs, and as an army of Black Peters like butcher everyone. If you're woke and you get upset by shit, don't watch it because you'll get triggered to hell.
Or maybe
You know.
they should watch it.
Maybe they should. Yeah, maybe they should watch it to realise that it's not always racist. You know. Over here we have a thing. There's a thing called Morris dancing. It's like a bunch of dudes wearing bells and they dance around and bang sticks together, and it's like an oldie kind of tradition. Now some of them do it in blackface and wear all black, but again, not because of it's to do with the mines, working down coal mines and whatnot. It's nothing to do with but again, that's been stamped out now. We're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yep.
There's my complaint.
A lot of it, like, I don't care if people do that. It's like with anything, it's the intent behind it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's
yeah.
just dumb. They're out
It
there
is what it
pulling
is.
up old Halloween photos.
Yeah, doing that shit and ripping statues down. And I did notice that George Washington got ripped down this week
No.
somewhere. Don't
Why
know why.
would they do that?
I had no clue. I mean, I kind of looked at it and people were saying, oh, it's because they think he's racist or something, but I didn't read too much into
Where's
it.
the
So
proof?
I take that with a pinch of salt. It might have been because it was dangerous and it needed pulling down, and I don't know, you know? Could have been any reason, but with all these things, you've got to look into it yourself, sort of thing. I think, with anything. Like watching movies, you know, people scream wokeness at some movies. I watched the James Bond movie recently, you know, the new James Bond movie. Thought it was fine. Not brilliant, because I'm not a huge fan of, you know, Daniel Craig, but plus the ending. Suck balls. Whatever. Is that a spoiler to say what the ending is?
Dun,
Or do you
dun,
think-
dun.
Or do you think it's... Yeah, don't kill James Bond. That's what I'm saying. Don't kill James Bond, dicks. Well, I watched Black Friday. I watched, you know, the new Bruce Campbell movie.
Well,
That he's in it and he produced it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Aside from, I think they kind of, the budget didn't quite meet what they wanted to do towards the end. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a noticeable drop off in quality right at the very end, and it almost felt like we need to end this movie. How do we end it? We do this, and it all kind of, It's okay, but the rest of the movie's fantastic. It's kind of like, you know, those kind of quirky, kind of indie comedy movies about a bunch of disgruntled employees that work at a store. That kind of stuff.
So many.
Like Waiting was one with restaurants and stuff, wasn't it? I'm just trying, you know, Clerks maybe. I don't know. It's kind of like that, but set to with the backdrop of a meteor from another planet crashes into the store and there's an alien infection going around and basically zombies. And the special effects are great. The practical effects, you know, people with bubbling up faces and all I'll say is naked zombie messed up grandmother.
Did she at least have clothes on? I know
No.
that's the new trend for them to not.
She
And
didn't
I'm
have
like,
clothes
why
on.
do you
but
do this?
She didn't have clothes on, but she's literally just
horrifying.
she's a mass of like blisters and pustules, and it's
Oof.
understandable. I'll forgive them for not leaving their clothes on. But she's cool. A lot of dumb stuff, and you know, Bruce Campbell's obviously he's great in it, really funny. Although he's not the main character, it's kind of billed as Bruce Campbell's movie.
So it's false. Dude.
I mean, he's in it a lot. Don't get me wrong, he's in it a lot, and he did produce it, but he's not the main character.
Dude. That's like another movie they're pushing on Netflix that I guess you could say was sort of horror-ish. It was like vampires. What was it like? It was something night.
Oh. I don't know.
I'm forgetting, but they were trying to say that like Megan Fox, they were acting like Megan Fox was like the lead in it. And you're like, okay,
right.
yeah.
I got you.
And so you're expecting like Megan Fox in like, you know, vampire movie, and you're like, okay, Night Teeth, that's what it was. But you think it's gonna be that, and under like a Jennifer's Body, but it's not. And
Yeah.
It's Debbie Ryan, if you know who she is from like Disney Channel.
Oh right, okay.
That's
yeah.
like the
I
main
know the
actress. And I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, I haven't seen her in like 10 years or something, dude. She's gone missing.
Yeah. Well, I was watching Black Friday and I'm trying to think what the last movie, because Michael Jai White's in it. And I was trying to think what the last movie I saw him in was. Was he? I don't know. I can't think. That's a good point, Man Bear Pig. Yeah. What they accomplished with such a tiny budget. I think we were more forgiving back then. And you get away with more when you try and do practical stuff. But if you watch Black Friday, you will see why. It's a good enough reason for the budget maybe didn't quite meet expectations. Do you know what I mean? With the final, it's still good. It's still good. Still funny. It's just, yeah, dial it back a little bit maybe.
What I think that one of the things is you can still have a great ending on a low budget film, but you have to kind of rein it in.
Yeah.
Because it's
I mean, it
like
works.
if you try to do like too much, and I haven't seen the movie, but in other cases when you try to do too much and your budget can't handle it, you might want to reel it in for sure.
Yeah. It kind of, and I also got the feeling that they'd spent a chunk of the budget on the ending.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they showed a little bit too much of the thing at the end because they'd spent the money on it. I don't know if that's the case or not. But it's, definitely worth a watch. It's funny. The script's great. The special effects are, all the way through up until that end. I mean, the end bit, it's okay. Perhaps I'm being too picky with it, being too awkward. But yeah, great effects, great humor, some awesome kills, some awesome effects, and yeah, all I'll say is it should have been longer. I needed more of it. When it finished, I was like, oh. I can't remember how long it is. I think it's around about 90 minutes-ish. There might be a little less, actually, but still great. Worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. Especially this time of year, because, a little bit of Christmas in there as well. They've got the Christmas decorations up and various things get used as weapons. It kind of, yeah, reminded me a little bit as well of Dead Rising games, you know, with the bizarre weapons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's in there. It's good. It's good. Right. So let me just share my screen. Let's take a looky at shows releasing this week, or shows that have released this week. Let me just turn the audio off. I don't want any random adverts popping up or any crap like that. So yeah, I'm bloody disgusting, obviously. So 20 seconds to 20. So, you know, this week, stuff that came out this week. I think next week is that movie Wolf comes out, which is, I don't know what that is. I watched the trailer. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Nope, haven't seen it.
It's I think like a psych hospital for people who think they're animals. And a dude thinks he's a wolf.
And he's becoming a wolf?
Like
a werewolf or just
kind of, I think that's the letdown of it. I don't think anyone actually is anything. I think they're all just mad.
They're just thinking it.
It looks nice. It looks well shot and whatever, and the dialogue seems okay from the trailer, but it's, I don't know, gateway furry stuff, maybe.
No, not the furries.
Not the furries, no. So yeah, releases this week, obviously, Black Friday. I give that, massive thumbs up. Look, see, they've got Bruce in there, and it's like, it's not about Bruce. It's not about Bruce's character. What else we got? I don't know if you've heard of any of these. The Strings. Apparently this is out on Shudder now at the moment. Okay. Dead of winter, musician Catherine travels to her aunt's remote cottage on the shores of Prince Edward Island to work on new material in solitude. Soon after visiting an abandoned farmhouse with local photographer Grace, strange and disturbing occurrences begin to manifest at the cottage, escalating each night and eroding Catherine's sense of reality. Could be good. Seems to be important that it's an all-female cast.
That's usually a red flag.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's on Shudder. I subscribe to Shudder. I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch. See what's what with that. Yeah, we're talking about Chucky again. Yeah, new episode. Meh.
Isn't it the final episode for this
Yeah,
season?
I think so, yeah. I think it's... Oh, no, second to last was on Tuesday,
okay.
So the final will be Tuesday.
They've just flooded all of the news with Chucky. You can't look horror news without Chucky everywhere, which is... It's fine. I mean, it's there, but I just...
Have you watched any of it?
I tried the first episode, but I stopped. I'll probably try to watch it again once it's all out.
Yeah.
And finish, then I'll just marathon it, but I'm not seeing anything that's keeping me interested.
Right. I'm going to scroll past that because there's a ton of spoilers in that text. Yeah? Don't read the text. Don't read the text.
Read it. Do it now.
I've not seen it. I've heard people bitching about it. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, dude, that looks so bad. I saw a trailer for that in the theater. I was like, no.
Yeah, all I've heard is complaints that it's not great. But it's not great, and it's, you know, wokery has fallen into it.
And like the cast just don't even look like the right age to me. I mean, maybe they are, but looks wise, it's like, dude, this guy looks like a shrimp right here, dude. Trying to say that's Chris Redfield. Come on. Dude.
Yeah, I'm just.
And I like the actors and different things, but this is just the casting director was asleep at the wheel, dude. Like it's just oof.
Yeah, to be honest, I saw that it was being done, and I saw the cast, just saw pictures of the cast and whatever, and just thought, nah. So I've not really paid any attention to it. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. What we got here? The Last Rite. So this came out yesterday. Sorry, today for you. Yesterday for me. Don't know anything about it. Medical student suffering from sleep paralysis finds herself plagued by a demonic entity hell-bent on ripping her apart. It's
That could
been
be
done.
interesting, but it sounds like every other thing that I've seen.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that goes on. A lot of movies like that, and it's almost as annoyingly oversaturated as someone moves to a house that has a dark past.
Dude,
You know,
stop it. That's 1,000 movies plus, dude. Don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to click on any of the trailers because they'll jump all over me. I'll probably get in trouble for showing bits of Frankenstein, but whatever. Indian movie. Chori. I'll probably pronounce that completely wrong. From T-Series and Crypt TV. Don't know anything about it. Modern young couple. She's pregnant. And they're forced out of the home. They escape the city. Seek refuge in a house located deep inside the sugarcane fields. Ooh.
And it's haunted.
No, there's an old couple there who seem to know more than they tell.
Oh,
The
no.
house and fields are ridden with dark secrets that start to unravel. Okay.
Oh no.
Moving on. Elves.
Like, why?
Yeah, elves. Okay.
That's an elf.
That's an elf.
It looks like an alien, dude.
It's an elf. I don't know
Are
what
you
it is.
sure about that?
It's baby Groot with the pointy head. That's what that is. He's naked.
Why are they trying to make it's like a new, I know there's regular elves and then there's Christmas elves. But the change in Christmas elves where they're making them like bizarre little gremlins is baffling to me. I don't understand this shift. Last couple of years for sure.
I don't know. I think everything, all media, movies and whatnot, I think it's all getting a little bit darker, in tone. I think everything's kind of edging that way. Maybe they're trying to be edgy or whatever. I don't know. Christmas Vacation turns into a nightmare for a teenager and her family when they discover an ancient menace that stalks their island getaway. So Gremlins, basically, but Christmas. I'm guessing. It's a Danish movie. It's out on Sunday. It's on Netflix, apparently.
Wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look, there's a trailer. There, I'm not watching a Netflix trailer. No. Yeah. I think I'm just trying to look what else we got here. Okay. Is this going to change the right screen? It is. Holy moly. More news on Evil Dead Rise. Bruce Campbell said the film is dark, serious, and excruciating. Is that excruciating as in to watch? Or
I think he's leaving it open to imagination.
Yeah. So they finished filming it last month. And what? So he's seen a rough of it already. It has all the components we need. Like anything, when you see a rough version, it just has to be tightened. But we're good. We're in good shape. Okay. It's easier just to read the quotes instead of like whatever their take on the quotes is. It's dark and pretty serious. So far, kind of, following on from like the remake. Then I'm guessing. In that world, less comedy, more heads being split open with toilets or whatever, or sinks.
So is any of the cast from the previous, I don't know, you call it remake? Reboot? Are any of them coming back?
From what I've seen, I don't think so, but maybe. I mean,
from what I've seen, it looks like all new people.
You'd think they'd bring Ash into it, maybe. Oh, right, here we go. So it's more about the book. The book gets around, the book's handed around, passed on. People try and get rid of it. They try to bury it or destroy it, and they can't. So the book keeps popping up. So really, it's just another story of what happens if this book appears. Right. So no, it's not a continuation. It's just like maybe that's the way.
They left the last one open.
Yeah, I guess.
To where I was like, maybe they're gonna do something with it because maybe she's possessed. Maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe they'll do the thing where this movie is about different people, and then the third movie they'll go back to maybe.
Stop. I hate when people do that now. They need to cut that out.
It's becoming a thing. It's definitely becoming a thing to do that. We've let them
Because
have
they're
a lot.
doing that with Kingsman too. They did 2 movies, then they're doing like a prequel, and then they're gonna finish up with the 3rd movie, supposedly.
This never makes me happy. We've let them have a lot of creative leeway.
Whoa.
Whoa, maybe not. I don't know about that. Every new heroine or hero has to learn to dispel the evil. Blah 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 blah. Not everybody figures out that easily. The family is not the same at the end of the movie. Okay. The whole family is destroyed. Well, you've just given it away there.
Well, I mean, also, if you're, seeing people split open and cut up, maybe that might leave you, a
Yeah,
little
it's
disturbed.
very possible.
Maybe a tiny bit of PTSD. Who knows?
Right, so so this is all one family. They're all related. I know there's the 2 girls. I don't know who else is in it. Brothers, sisters, sons, daughters. Okay. Road-weary Beth pays an overdue visit to an older sister, Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. LA doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't scream horror to me that much as a location, but,
Well,
We'll
LA is a crime-ridden currently, so
there you go.
lots of carjackings and car break-ins. So,
So they discovered a book basically in the basement of the building, by the sounds of it.
okay.
Which throws them into I mean, fair enough. And then, Joe Blow being Joe Blow, something, well, not unrelated, but they just stick the trailer to the original there. Okie dokie. I'll wait and see, Then again, I've said the same about Candyman.
No. Too soon.
Candyman and, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ugh. Still not be able to force myself to go back
That
and watch
was
any more
truly unwatchable. It hurt just to get to where I did to finish it.
Oh, did you watch it all?
Unfortunately.
Oh, good lord. Yeah, no, I can't remember. I think I stopped maybe halfway through episode 2.
Don't go any further. Save yourself.
Yeah, it just
I
all
only
seemed
watched it for the train wreck, and even that was just too much. Honestly, yikes.
Just the dialogue. Well, everything was just ass.
What dialogue, dude? What?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like a text conversation. You just took all of your text conversations between friends, and you're like, all right, it's time to make a script. Here we go. And you just regurgitated that into the script.
Yeah. It's... I don't know. It's... Stop finding writers and artists and whatever from Tumblr. Just stop. It's... Yeah. No. Not a fan. Let's take a look at... This is something that's coming up. This is a TV series that we're getting in February. You're going to love this one. Don't know if you know anything about this. Oh, disable ad blocker? No. Go away. From. It's called From. Looks like M. Night Shyamalan meets Lost. Have you heard any of this? About any of this?
Nope.
No.
I feel like M. Night's been dropping a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, don't think this is actually him. I think this is... They're just trying to say it's like
They're
that.
just using his production company, maybe. Oh, or they're referencing, oh, looks like, all right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
So, Saint Moore, blah, 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 blah. Stephen King, blah, blah, blah. So this, feels like an M. Night Shyamalan-esque mystery box of horrors. I mean, it's... Let's get... I'm trying to find where... Oh, here we go. The series unravels the mystery of a nightmarish town in Middle America that traps all those who enter. They must survive the threats of the surrounding forest, including terrifying creatures that come out when the sun goes down.
You
I
know
mean,
what
this
this
is
kind of sounds like? Once
go on.
Upon a Time, that show on
Yeah,
ABC.
yeah. Once Upon a
Yeah.
Time and The Dome. Do you remember The
Oh
Dome?
yeah, I saw a bit of that. Never finished it, but it was interesting.
Yeah, no, I never finished that either. It just,
It's
I,
missing something, dude.
yeah, there was what was that other one? Oh, Haven.
Mm,
Haven was, yeah, that was a kind of similar show with a little town where stuff happens.
Hmm.
It's been done. It's all been done before, so I don't know. It's created by blah, 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 Jack Bender from Lost, Game of Thrones, Mr. Mercedes, Jeff Pinker, Fringe, Alias, Lost. So there you go. Band of Brothers, Once Upon a Time, Castle Rock.
Ah, so it is Once Upon a Time. Somebody
Yeah.
involved with that, yeah.
So that's the cast. That's Eon Bailey. Don't know. I don't really recognize any names. I don't think.
Yeah, nothing's
Um,
popping up to me right now.
no. So Epic Studios MGM. Executive producer directed the first 4 episodes. And of course the video has already been blocked. Alright, so I don't know where you're getting it in the US. I don't know where it's showing. But outside the US it's on Netflix. Does it say anywhere? It's Epix. Is Epix an actual streaming service? Or Epix.
I would assume so.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
there
it's
we
a
go.
channel on TV.
Epix has started to become a pretty awesome little home for horror. So they've got Stephen King's Chapel Wait on there, and an 8-film collaboration with Blumhouse. Cool. Why'd you make that? I don't understand. Like, I mean, I've never heard of the channel, but why would someone like Blumhouse, like, say you go into a contract for 8 movies with a service that they're not, unless they think Blumhouse, the name of Blumhouse, can carry it and bring people in.
Probably is what they're thinking.
I mean, I only really watch like Shudder and a bunch of like free streaming services and whatever, and Amazon Prime. But
I think with Epix they put there was like this little indie film called Saint Maud.
oh yeah,
And they
yeah.
put that on Epix as
think
like
we-
an exclusive. Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, we got it on. Did we get it on Netflix? Or it was either Netflix or Amazon Prime. Can't remember which. I've seen it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Which is fine. That's all good. So yeah, let's hop back and have a look at. So it's Frankenstein's 90th. Frankenstein in the Universal Frankenstein's 90th. Let's take a look at some other Frankenstein movies, shall we?
Oh boy.
Oh god damn it. That's right, StreamYards have been updating and there's all these new features, and like, so I do these little slideshows, get the images and whatever, and StreamYards do it for you now. I could have just used that. God damn it. Never mind, I'll know for next time. Let's go to that one, turn the audio off because there isn't any. Boom, there we go. So the very first appearance of Frankenstein. Look at him. Is that terrifying or what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is like, isn't this also the first ever movie made? Because it was Edison,
I'd
wasn't it? It was
say
Edison's
that's
company.
definitely close, if not, yeah.
I'm just trying to think what else was.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's Charles Stanton Ogle. Never heard of him since. So yeah, 1910 Frankenstein. You know, that's cool. There was a couple of movies after that, like I said earlier, but they've disappeared. Disappeared to the ether. no one knows where or when they are. And pretty much like that London After Midnight. That's like the famous one, isn't it? That kind of went missing. Lon Chaney's, and they said it was like Lon Chaney's greatest performance, but no one ever saw it.
Nobody saw
So
it.
yeah, okay, whatever. Moving on. I'll try and whisk through these because, you know, Curse of Frankenstein. Christopher Lee as the monster. I really like these. I really like that one. The Hammer movies were a lot bloodier and had way more boobs. But that's beside the point.
Which they're trying to bring Hammer back, dude. They're making new movies and then
They are.
restoring old movies.
Yeah. I've got that as I could have sworn that was in my little folder here of stuff to. Oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah. So they there's like 100+ movies that they're restoring. Restoring and kind of upgrading. And then they're going to push forward with the new Hammer brand of movies.
Which they didn't do too bad because there's that one called The Lodge.
Oh, the Lodge. Was
pretty-
that Hammer? Is that the one with the guys in the woods?
Oh, it's like this. I don't know, quasi like girlfriend, stepmother, or fiance of this guy. She takes his kids to like the cabin that they used to hang out at.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was thinking
And then
of the
there's
Ritual.
hallucinating and cult stuff going on.
Yeah.
She's reformed, cult member.
Yeah, that's why I'm confusing it with the Ritual because that's kind of the same. I think the guys in that one all, I don't know, accidentally take magic mushrooms or some shit, and it ends up being a whole sacrificial cult to some woodland god. Yeah, good movie though, great movie. I mean, what did you think of Christopher Lee? I presume you've seen this, Curse of Frankenstein? Yeah.
I liked him in it. He's good.
Yeah. I think when I very first saw it, I was still completely enamored with Karloff's Frankenstein. So it was a bit of a weird leap to go. You know, Frankenstein to me back then was square head, bolts in his neck.
Yeah.
This is a lot more bloody as well. Really enjoyed it. Christopher Lee was just fantastic in pretty much everything
He
he
always would like elevate the stuff that he was in. So even if it was just a terrible movie, he's there and you can thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to learn more about Christopher Lee, Count Dankula on YouTube. he does his it's called Absolute Mad Lads series, where he finds someone from history and just goes into their life. It's good. And Christopher Lee was such an epic subject that he had to split it over two, so it's like an hour and a half altogether documentary.
Oh wow!
The tale of Christopher Lee's life from his childhood right through to the end. A bunch of cool stuff in there, about the time he met Tolkien, and Tolkien said, if they ever make a Lord of the Rings movie, you've got to play Gandalf. You're the man to play Gandalf. And then he went to Peter Jackson, Christopher Lee did, to audition, thinking he was auditioning for Gandalf. Got accepted. He's like, yay, I get to be Gandalf, sort of thing. And then Peter Jackson suddenly realized he was auditioning for Gandalf and not Saruman. So there was an awkward phone call followed. Sorry, Christopher, you're not Gandalf. But if you got time, go to Count Dankula's YouTube channel.
Like if you just think about that, him meeting Tolkien and then actually getting into the movie all those years later.
Yeah.
And then seeing it come out in the theater, that's just like mind blowing. And you think about it.
The whole story about when he met Tolkien, it was the people that he used to hang out with and go to the pub with, go drinking in the pub. All famous people, all insanely famous people. And then Tolkien just happened wandering, Tolkien, he's always in here drinking, And weird. It's a weird story. He literally, everything Christopher Lee did in his life was fucking insanely epic. Absolutely every aspect of it. I don't, from being sort of like special forces to when he turned 80, he became like a musician and did like heavy metal albums.
Mm-hmm.
I think he put like 4 or 5 albums out. Crazy.
Yeah, which were
Great
fairly
man.
good. Yeah.
With just an insane life. Yeah, definitely worth watching those countdown little things. Definitely. Moving along. Dun dun dun. I was a teenage Frankenstein. I think as well. Let me just go. Yeah, made the same year as The Curse of Frankenstein. With Gary Conway as the monster. Look at that. Now I do know that the people that made this, it was apparently going to be pretty good. It sounded pretty good. They've got a good budget, all this stuff. And the director sort of said, right, go make me a monster. Make me a scary monster. You've seen the other Frankenstein stuff. Go make me a monster. It's got to be cool. And I think that he didn't see it till the day of shooting. And this turned up.
Oh.
And he's like, crap. Oh, well, I've got to work with it, sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah. I was, yeah. Oh, dear. Particularly, it looks more like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
He's ripped, though. Frankenstein's ripped. Frankenstein conquers the world. Yeah,
No.
that time that Frankenstein turned into a giant kaiju and fought a massive lizard monster.
No, boy.
And there's a whole bunch of movies in the series.
No,
he doesn't always stay big,
don't
though.
say that. No.
Oh, there's tons. There's tons, yeah. He isn't always this size. He does, for the most of the movie at the start, he's like normal size, and then he just grows so he can fight this thing, you know? Is what it is. Japan ain't gonna... I suppose instead of trying
Japan
to
is gonna do what they do.
Yeah, I guess instead of trying to just do, because it was licensed, it was officially licensed based on the Universal version. I guess instead of trying to make Japanese people like Frankenstein, they made Frankenstein into something Japanese people would like, if that makes sense. It is what it is. I can't remember which things I've got in here, so we're either going to get an epic or some Frankenstein or something weird. Oh, something weird. Casino Royale, the James Bond movie from 1967, starring Dave Prowse, Darth Vader himself, in his first ever movie role as Frankenstein's creature.
That is so funny.
So James Bond, Casino Royale, Frankenstein.
Because of course it's a Bond film.
Yeah.
Why not have Frankenstein in there?
And do you know what? I've seen the movie, but it was a long time ago, and
Me
I cannot
too.
for the life of me remember Frankenstein being there. Unless
I did a full rewatch of all Bond recently.
Why was Frankenstein there? Was he drugged? Was Bond drugged or something? Or is it a party? Or
It's gonna take a minute. I think it was like it was so weird, and I was half asleep.
I mean, I know Dave Prowse was like booked to do the movie, and he knew he was going to play like a monster, some kind, not a monster, like some kind of big bad henchman sort of guy. Or that's what he thought he was doing.
Like, I think they were playing it straight for the most part. It felt like
it's kind of seen as a comedy now, though. I don't know why. Maybe it's the wacky music. I can remember the theme tune. To Casino Royale. Bizarre. Certainly not Daniel Craig. Moving on. Oh, David Prowse is back. 1970, The Horror of Frankenstein. That's more like it, you know? Although he's looking a bit, I don't know, hairless? They've gone for the square head again. Yeah, it was weird.
But it's all fleshy, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird, isn't it?
You know what this looks like?
Go on. What?
This looks like a certain type of film, an adult film.
It does, like a parody, like a yeah.
Like,
I was thinking
look at that. What is that? Dude.
I was thinking Coneheads, but you know, Conehead's gone wrong. I don't know. Look, he's got lines drawn on him. Look, even the stitches aren't. They're drawn on, and I forgot to draw the stitch there between the two dots. Okay. I mean, it's a good movie, but yeah, that was a weird one for me when I was younger. I mean, I was born that year, so obviously didn't see it when it came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one. This is the first time seeing of it, but no.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was the 70s. Hammer horror movies went weird in the 70s. Like Dracula 1970 AD. That's another one. Just yeah, it all went a bit kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. They were clearly all on drugs. Put it that way.
For sure. Yeah. White Mountains.
Yeah. I mean, fine. Moving along.
This is another.
Do you know what this is?
I've seen this on the internet, but I haven't
Flesh for Frankenstein. This
I
is
haven't
Andy
actually
Warhol.
seen the full thing.
This is Andy Warhol's foray into horror. Yeah. So
This is definitely a parody.
this is definitely one of
Don't
those
lie
movies
to me.
because
What is this?
this is Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. Make a lady Frankenstein, male Frankenstein, and they bang. Because you make two monsters so they can create a child or some shit. It's a long time since I probably saw it in maybe mid 80s. Or I probably started watching it in the mid 80s and then realized it was crap and stopped watching it. It was definitely on TV back then, late night sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, bizarre. I do like the weird little taped on sort of nappy things they've got.
It seems like it's so random. Like, what are they even?
Andy Warhol.
Connecting
What do you
to?
expect? Yeah. I'm pretty
Still.
sure this is also the set. I'm sure this set was used in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That room is very, very similar to Frankenfurter's lab. Very. With all the switches and stuff.
Never know.
No. Moving on. That's one you can watch. You didn't know about this one, and now you can go and watch it.
I don't know about that, Chief.
Frankenstein. Also
Now,
known as
guys,
Black Frankenstein.
this is an example of whiteface.
Just whiteface?
Look at he's so pale. Look at that.
Yeah, I think that's just a shitty quality image, to be honest.
It could
Yeah.
be.
Why has he got hairy hands? I know, I do
I
know
was gonna
that
make a joke, but I won't.
yeah. I do
don't
know
wanna get banned.
that in this, I think in the story, he had some kind of accident. He's not even called Frankenstein's monster. He's called Eddie Turner. I think he has
Maybe
some kind of
copyright
accident.
reasons.
And someone said, no, so long as they don't put the bolts on the neck, it's fine.
Oh,
That's the only stipulation. Like if you go back to, there we go. See, he's got the bolts on the side of his head. You can just make that out in the grainy crap image.
mm-hmm.
Hammer, hurry up and fix your movies. Make them all 4K and stuff. Yeah, I don't think you really. I mean, did he have to have a afro going on?
Of course, it's a Blackenstein.
It's
Dude.
just, and the posters for it, because the posters were painted. He's got a wild afro in the poster. I haven't got one of the images with me, and I'm not going to Google it again. But I don't know what year Blackula was, but I'm guessing it's around about the same time. It's bizarre, very bizarre. Moving along, the Monster Squad. This is just in here because it's the Monster Squad, and I love the Monster Squad. Nothing other than that. He's not exactly a main character, but there we go.
And this was
Monster
a good
Squad.
design.
Oh.
That
That
definitely
was it.
gave the vibes of the original. Yeah.
That was the thing with the Monster Squad. They all looked awesome. I mean, the creature from the Black Lagoon looked fantastic. Not really much like, a little bit like the original, but
you
the
feel it's the
Wolfman.
vibe. Though.
Yeah, they actually put money and effort into this one, I think. Well, I'm not sure on the money. I'm guessing so because it still looks pretty good now. It's I mean, in between all these movies,
I've seen this one. Oh no!
Trust me, there's I was looking on Wikipedia at the list of Frankenstein movies. I've probably, look, we're in 1990 with Frankenhooker. I've probably skipped about 200 movies, 200 Frankenstein movies between 1910 and 1990. Well, yeah, Frankenhooker. It's a bizarre story. So the dude who's the scientist has a girlfriend who buys him a lawnmower for Christmas or his birthday or something, and then she demonstrates it and accidentally gets mauled by it
Who
and
does
chopped
that?
apart.
That's
And
so wild.
yeah, and it's like his girlfriend's like overweight or something. Yeah, overweight, and so he saves her head and sticks it on like a New
Another
York hooker's
body.
body. Yeah,
Dude.
the body of a New York hooker. And this was the tamest picture I could put up. This is, the rest of it's just YouTube won't like it. YouTube will get really angry
Oh yeah.
because YouTube don't like anything even vaguely female shaped. Yeah. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I like
Oh,
this one.
dude, I was just about to ask, where's Robert De Niro?
Yeah, I mean, some people complained about it. I thought it was great. I mean, there was another one, and I cannot for the life of me remember who was in it or whatever, but it was round about the same time as this, and that was also really faithful to the book, and the monster looked great, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, this one was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm just trying to think who else was in it, but I can't. Was Donald Sutherland in it? I can't remember. But again, kind of more faithful to the book, kind of.
Which, depending on how you feel about the book, that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
This is true. This is very true. There's a lot of story in that book. There's a lot of things going on. I don't know. This was another one where the first time I saw like the makeup and stuff, I was still like, oh, I don't know. Where's the big square head? But it doesn't need it, and it kind of makes more sense. Although they've still not got Frankenstein. I think there's maybe been one version that I saw. One of the lost movies, the one from 1915. I think it's called something. It's something weird like the creation of life, or it doesn't mention Frankenstein in the title. But that's the only pic I've seen images of it, and that's the only one where Frankenstein kind of looks like he should do in the book, from the book. You know, with the long flowing hair, and he's kind of handsome and stuff. He's handsome, but everything's a little bit off. There's photos from the movie, and like the movie's lost, but there's photos, and he's got the flowing mane, and he's quite, well-built guy and whatever. But again, never get a chance to see it because it's gone. People who keep losing stuff, and I think the next one is the final one, possibly. Yeah, final one in my little list of different stuff. What did you think of this one? This one was weird.
Trash.
They're
trying to make, this is the time when there were other films coming out where they were trying to do the same thing.
Same aesthetic as well. What wasn't
it? Was too much action. There was no horror, really.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
they're trying to do Pirates of the Caribbean Frankenstein edition.
Was this around about the same time as Van Helsing? No, this was later, wasn't it? This was
it's later.
The only thing that sticks in my memory from this movie is when he's removing the hump from Igor's back, and he just sticks a massive syringe in it and starts drawing out all this pus. It's like, that's horrible in more ways than you can know. But then he ends up like going from being this ugly kind of hunchback, weird little thing to what's his name, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
it's Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, it's Harry Potter trying to be grown up and do grown up things, but it's like, this ain't the way, boy. I mean, I did watch it again maybe a year ago, and it was just It is what it is. But the monster kind of looks cool-ish, apart from whatever's going on at the top here. understand.
That's when you get dropped on your head.
Yeah, this is true. I do remember the special effects being quite good when they were creating the monster.
Hmm.
And they're kind of putting little different bits together and it's all floating in a tank or laid out on a table. Isn't this the one where he starts off with a dog or a cat or something? That's gross as hell.
Hmm.
But that's dogs. And, oh, look, he's wearing skin tight PVC bondage panties. What's wrong with him?
A chastity belt. No.
Yeah. No boink. Yeah, no horny for you, Frankenstein.
Oh boy.
Weird. And I know I could have included things like Bride of Frankenstein and whatnot, but this is about Frankenstein, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about the Bride at some other date. But anyway, going through all those, for me, I don't know. I'm still erring on the side of the Universal Frankenstein as being one of the best, if not the best. Don't know. What do you think? Is there anything you prefer over that one?
Overall, no.
Yeah, and I know it's not accurate to the book or whatever, but who cares? It's great, and it's spawned 1,000 other movies and 1 million Halloween masks and costumes, and yeah, it's great. Just don't forget, if you're ever going to do anything involving Frankenstein, don't put the bolts in the neck, or they'll get you.
Well, that's the thing with the characters that are public domain. You can't fringe on somebody else's design or their look, because that'll get you.
Young Frankenstein mentioned that, but that's kind of, I didn't include that because it's kind of Karloff's Frankenstein, kind of. And also I didn't include him and Munster for the same reason, because it's Karloff. We'll see. I mean, even the new, there's no new, by the way, no new Munsters news this week. Rob Zombie hasn't done an Instagram post for Bloody Disgusting to make an article out of.
Oh no. So sad.
So very, very sad. I'm just trying to think if I've got anything else here going. Not really. Have you ever seen the movie The Stuff?
The Stuff, did you say?
The Stuff, yeah, The Stuff, yeah.
No, that's
with the
interesting.
It's I mean, it's an old movie. I think it was an 80s movie about how a company makes it's like a dessert, and it does shit to you, but
was it like tear up your stomach, dude? Like
you turn into kind of the stuff is a white blob basically. I don't want to ruin it because you've not seen it, and it's a great movie. It's a great 80s, I think 80s horror movie. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning that is because they've unearthed 30 extra minutes for it.
Oh, wow.
It's great. So all the stuff
I always
that was cut,
love when that happens, dude.
all the stuff that was too gross is coming back. And they're putting it back in, and that's coming out, I think, start of next year. I do have the article here. Let me try and drag it really quickly. Come on, stuff. Where are you? There's the stuff. Come on, StreamYards. You can do it. The stuff. There we go. Share screen. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to share screen and move tabs around without accidentally closing the StreamYard one.
I've done that before.
So there you go. Yeah, 1985, Larry Cohen's 1985 movie. It's available. Yeah, it is. I thought it was. It's on Amazon Prime at the moment, so you can watch it for free if you've got Amazon. He did a little interview and pointed out that they're adding 30 extra minutes of footage not found anywhere else for the director's cut, which is nice.
That's a significant amount of just minutes put back into a film.
Yeah, and it was discovered by a non-profit art house organization called Denver Film. There you go. This is a synopsis. There you go. A private detective investigates a new consumer taste treat that's absolutely delicious and possibly lethal. It is. It's lethal. It's funny, and gross in places. Yeah. I don't think any of the deleted scenes were crucial to the narrative, but we did lose a few funny scenes that I wanted to keep. When I showed New World my original cut, they strongly felt the film should move a lot faster. Whatever. What do they know? So yeah, basically just cut out stuff that they didn't think was worth keeping in by the looks of it. So Cohen passed away and it was discovered afterwards. Which happened with George Romero's Martin. I've not seen that in a while. I can't really remember Martin. Bizarre. But yeah, once again, for some reason, Joe Blow showing the trailer for something completely different. And don't know, documentary about Larry Cohen, maybe, possibly, looks like it. But yeah, you should check out the stuff.
Yeah, I'll add it to the list.
Do it. And then I think all I've got left is what we mentioned before about Hammer. I think this is the only other news this week.
Ayo.
Yeah. So yeah, 100+ movies. So who's doing it? It's Hammer Film, and basically they've just created this new thing, haven't they? Is it Hammer Studios Limited? Yeah. So we're getting Dracula and the Mummy, and they continue on with stuff like The Quiet Ones and Woman in Black. Merging the existing library with the network's infrastructure. Well, so I don't know if they're doing their own streaming thing, which would be a weird choice. I don't know. I'd partner with someone else maybe, but
Wait a second. Is it saying that they did the Woman in Black?
that
was
Woman
part
in Black.
of their new label.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one.
What, you don't think that they made? Let me Google. Wasn't there two of those? Two Woman in Black.
There's two, unfortunately. The Quiet Ones, wasn't that the film with that Kieran Shipka chick from Sabrina?
Don't know. Sounds right. Why does it not say? Why do I have to go to it? IMDb will tell me, won't it? The Woman in Black, directed, starring. No, I just want to know who made it. They don't want to tell me. What about Wikipedia? Will Wikipedia tell me? The wiki page for Gothic supernatural horror films. Yeah, Hammer Films.
Oh wow!
Produced by Hammer in association with Alliance Films, Cross Creek Pictures, and the UK Film Council. So yeah, sounds like they put the most money into it then, because they get mentioned first.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes, or whoever's doing the most legwork.
Yeah, it does interest me when there's like 5 or 6 production companies involved. So it moves on to another production company, and then they find the bigger one, and I don't know, big fish, little fish.
Sometimes you got to team up to get a movie done.
This is true. So yeah, the managing director at Network. I'm trying to look through this, and it's Hammer Films from studio to tell classics. Yes. Hammer Films, blah blah blah. Hollywood history. Oh, UK-based Network Distributing. Well, there's a name for a company. I guess they do what it says.
That's very straightforward there.
Yeah. The partnership is a really exciting opportunity to merge Hammer's amazing library with Network's infrastructure. While we work our way through restoring its entire back catalogue for future generations' enjoyment, we're equally excited about the development of new productions from the Hammer canon. And yeah, the company that are restoring all this stuff, they did the restored versions of The Prisoner TV series and Monty Python, and they're both good. The Prisoner restoration was cool. Yeah, it just mentions that they did The Lodge in 2020. Okay. They seem to have veered away from, although that was Universal, wasn't it? Doing all the Dark Universe thing. I get confused. I don't even know what happened to the Universal Dark Universe. I guess it didn't do as well as
It
they thought.
just they killed it. They killed it because there's nowhere else to go with it.
Yeah. I don't know. They've got stuff planned. They were going to do like the remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, but they just killed it all, dude.
Yeah, which is weird because they'd actually got what's her name on board to do it.
They had a
Thingy.
ton of people because they had Johnny Depp, they had Angelina Jolie, Russell Crowe.
ScarJo, yeah. Scarlett Johansson was going to be the female lead in The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Mhm.
Bizarre. I guess. I don't know. Maybe they saw what did they do? They did The Mummy, didn't they? That was weird and crap.
Mm.
And was there another one they did? Oh, didn't they
I
do?
don't remember.
Did they do the Wolfman remake with Benicio del Toro?
Did Hammer do it? Or did
No, the
Universal?
Dark Universe thing. I think that was one of those, wasn't it?
Universal, I think they did that.
Yeah. So
Hmm. They were trying to
So-
start it then, and then that didn't do as well as they wanted. So then they kind of stopped doing what they're doing, and then they did the new stuff with Tom Cruise, and that really didn't work.
yeah,
So that's a whole
Yeah.
nother.
it was kind of almost like they were trying to do what they did with the Avengers movies. You know what happened with the
That's
trying
how
to,
you mess up, dude.
if you go out trying to make a like universe thing, a shared universe, it's going to go wrong.
And the other thing is you have to put in the groundwork, which is one thing that Marvel did that DC hasn't been able to, outside of some of the Snyder stuff, replicate. Because if you don't put in the pieces that you're going to come back to later and say, okay, that's what that was about, it's not going to
Yeah.
work. If you just go out like guns a-blazing, like they did in Mummy, and they already have Russell Crowe
Yeah.
there, and it's Jekyll and Hyde, and you're already in an origin film on top of that, that's a bit much.
Yeah, let the first few
swallow
just
it all.
be
Yeah.
just be standalones. Just
Like, if
Stop.
anything, Jekyll and Hyde should have been in there for maybe like significantly less, maybe almost like an end credit scene, and
Yeah.
then go from there.
if at all. I mean, if you think about
Yeah.
it, Universal did do the first successful shared universe back in the day.
Back in the
Because
day.
you had all your separate monster movies, and then you had Frankenstein meets Wolfman and all that kind of stuff going on. And I loved those movies. They were probably crap, but who cares? Who cares? It's and all the kind of the reboots and stuff that Hammer did with not reboots, but like the sequels for like Dracula movies. He did clearly been killed in the first one, the previous one, but you know.
I love when people do that. Like, they just
Just-
act like it didn't exist.
Yeah, or they'd have some wild and wacky. Like I think one of the ways Dracula came back was they got his ashes and then like a drop of virgin's blood on the
Dude,
ashes.
stop. That's not even a thing.
It's like I saw
That
that
was
first Hammer
ridiculous
Dracula.
then, and it's still ridiculous now, dude.
Yeah, I saw that first Hammer Dracula movie. I saw all that ash blow away. So stop it. Someone went out and collected all that shit, did they? Dracula should have
just
come
like
back
when
as
they
just like
tape up those newspapers or tape up your credit card that you threw out in the trash. They're like, yes, we have
Yeah.
your numbers
great. Yeah,
and your
well done.
sensitive documents.
Yeah. They should have done the second Dracula movie. They should have poured the blood onto the ash, and then just like a leg appears. A leg. And
Well, if they
maybe
did
part
it
of
almost more like a weird cult ritual where they're spilling blood, or like
I
they
mean, that was
slice
done
somebody's
as well.
throat.
Yeah, they used that in a few
But
as
like,
well.
it's just, there needs to be more like spectacle if you're gonna do that at all.
It's I don't know. But back then, no one cared. Who cares? Just give me another Dracula movie. It's fine. It's all good. I dread to think how many Frankenstein movies have been and Dracula movies altogether.
I feel like there's more Dracula than Frankenstein.
Yeah. And also, as far as I know, Frankenstein for Universal, Boris Karloff played him the least amount of times. There's other people that played him more, played the Frankenstein's monster more, but just didn't get
the recognition
because it was all pointless because Karloff just sucked all the kudos out of the room, sort of thing. It is what it is. I think the same thing kind of happened with Christopher Lee. I'm fairly sure other people played Dracula more in Hammer movies. Who knows? I've not sat down and worked it out. Someone's probably done it. I'll Google it later. Someone will be able to tell me. We've been going an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's good for my first live stream, my first YouTube live stream. So I had a bunch of cool stuff. I got all these cool little things. Like, here we go.
You saw me standing alone.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus wept.
I got a folder.
I love American Werewolf in London. That scene is so good.
Still my favorite movie, I think, of all time. I don't know. It's got everything. It's got everything in it that I want from a horror movie. It's got like some really good effects. It's got a cool story. It's got good locations, and it's got jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to inject a little bit of humor when things get grim. When you sat in a movie theater talking to the rotted corpse of your best friend. And you've got to have a meatloaf joke in there, which is fantastic. Right, before we go, I subjected Crystal to this earlier, so anyone watching, I will subject you to this as well. Before we go, have you got anything you want to say, plug, do, stuff like that?
Nah. Well, you can check me out on Twitter. That's pretty cool. I have a comic. We have a website currently, mysticalcomics.com. Parts of it are up. We're still. You're good. You're good. Still working on it. More stuff added pretty soon, but you can bookmark it, and we'll add more stuff as we go. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even got my own campaign pulled up, so yeah, check out Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter as well. We are very, very close to 1,000 backers.
Woohoo!
Which is insane. Yeah, we've gone past.
It's pretty epic.
Edging towards 55.5k in dollaroos. We've gone over 40,000 English monies, which is great. I'm still drawing the book, still like steaming ahead with that. It takes a long time though. Today I keep, like I said before, I keep shooting myself in the foot because it's like I could draw this scene from a really simple angle. No, so today I've been drawing another like weird angle, and there's like light coming in through a window, so there's like shadows from the cross beams of the window, like over everything, and then there's like people, and there's bookcases, and there's like laboratory equipment.
Sometimes I feel like artists like to punish themselves.
Well, to be honest, with this book, I kind of started out this way. It started out, and people were like, "Oh, look at all the details," so I kind of had to. So
then you had to do it all out, yeah.
There is the occasional panel where there's just like maybe some wallpaper or like a brick wall in the background. You've got to forgive me for that. It's just the odd panel, but my poor hands. I have to take breaks these days. Getting old. So I'm going to just play this before we go, because I made Crystal watch it. The whole movie is available for free on YouTube. I know you're going to want to see it after seeing this little bit. Indian thriller.